Welcome back to the Rhode Show. Do you ever feel like raising your children is like trying to raise wild animals? Well, you may not be so far off. SeaWorld, yes, SeaWorld's head of animal training just wrote this new book on parenting, and it's called Whale Done Parenting, about how the methods used to train killer whales can be applied to parenting young children. And this morning, the author, Chuck Tompkins, joins us live from SeaWorld to tell us more about it. And his son, 21-year-old Cody, is also with him. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, how did you even come up with the concept of this book that you were able to relate this type of training to rearing kids?
Well, it all started with the fact that we use these training techniques to really find out the best way to work with killer whales. You need to have a very strong working relationship, and they need to interact with you. There's no negatives involved, and of course we had great success with that. And then as I started raising my kids, I realized that the fundamentals of changing behavior really stay the same. Obviously, you train whales different from kids, but the fundamentals stay the same. Building a relationship, making sure you set them up for success, you redirect when you make mistakes, and you highly reward them when they do things right.
Well, I have to say the whales behind you are nodding, so apparently they agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But give us an example of where training a killer whale is similar to training a child.
Well, example, like when our whales sometimes have social issues when they're interacting with each other, we try not to get involved with it. We really don't try to reinforce them when they're interacting with their own environment and with themselves. And basically, you're looking at the film now where we're building our relationship with these whales. Example, in human life, if kids are having temper tantrums, we really don't want to interact with the children right in the middle of having these emotional Super Bowls. We want to make sure that we ignore them as best we can, but we interact with them and we reinforce them when they're not having these emotional breakdowns. So we learned in whales that we've got to make sure we're very positive, very reinforcing when they're doing all the right things, and we ignore them to the best of our ability when they're not doing the right things. And kids respond the same way.
Hey, Cody, I have to ask you, did your dad wear one of those training whistles as you grew up, or what?
It's a fond memory of mine, always seeing my dad wearing those whistles, of course. And we always brag on him, or we used to tell him to get in a wetsuit every once in a while. And I'd like to see him in a wetsuit again here pretty soon.
Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us. The book is Whale Done Parenting, and it's in stores now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think we